Hey, hardworking Christian mom, welcome to the Victorious Working Mom. Do you want more time and less mom guilt? Do you find yourself up late at night, searching time, productivity, and life hacks? Do you wake up with big ambitious goals only to feel like you're dropping the ball or missing the important stuff when life happens and everyone needs you again? Hey, I'm Dr. Naka. I too was trying to do all the things at home and work and burning out. I too felt overworked and underappreciated and wished to hide or escape and get a much needed break. I wanted to be present at home, productive at work, and be calm and rested, but I kept telling myself this is what it is to be a working mom, and I had to suck it up and deal. Until I found God's power to be present and set priorities. In this podcast, you will find time, space, and support so that you will be less busy, less cranky, and less lonely. So get comfy in your hiding place from your kids and let's grow, glow, and go. Hi, this is Dr. Naka, and you are getting this great interview with Chi Okonkwo, and it's going to be a two-parter. So if you have not left a review, please consider doing it. It just helps me to give you what you want, what you need, know what you like, know what you don't like, and also consider joining the Facebook community, Christian Professional Moms. Remember, Victorious Working Mom podcast is about using God's power to be present and set priorities. This interview you're going to listen to is a juicy one, and I think it's good to start having some mentors and sheroes, people, women we look up to that are getting those wins and giving us the blueprint. I hope you enjoy. Hello. You are listening to the Victorious Working Moms podcast. Hi, lovely. Thank you so much for listening. I know you're busy and booked and got things to do, but I trust your good sis, Dr. Naka, has a good one. Speaking of sis, I have a long sought after guest today. Y'all, you are not ready. You're not ready for this. I'm so excited. I'm so pumped about the person I have the esteemed privilege to speak to today. And I have pinned her down to be on this podcast. There would be no Victorious Working Moms podcast without this guest. I am introducing to you is a Chidalim Okonkwo. Chi Okonkwo, if you're nasty, you know what I'm saying? Now, I would be remiss not to read these receipts. Okay? Because we didn't come to play today. We came to slay today. Yes, this is faith-based self-care and stress management. But we got to get some sheroes. Y'all about to get a shero today. Okay? You got to get some inspiration. You got to get some practical tips. I am so pumped for this. So let me tell you about Chi Okonkwo. You better ask her about her in these streets. Okay, check the email, check the LinkedIn. Chi Okonkwo is leading the agency financial system office in the office of the chief financial officer at NASA headquarters. Yes, whole NASA. Designated agency business process lead with oversight of a portfolio of budget, performance, and financial management applications valued at over $7 million. He recommends investment decisions and solutions to meet emerging enterprise needs in a compliant, business-driven, and value-added approach. She is energized by the adoption of emerging technology, including data visualization, RPA, blockchain, and artificial intelligence to transform and empower the federal workforce of the future. Okay, you better put some respect on her name. Director of Agency Financial Systems Office of NASA. Yes, that NASA. Yes, space. Okay. Why you see why I'm excited? This woman is booked and busy, and we got her here on today. So thank you so much for blessing us. I know that you are a very busy woman now. What I just read, don't let it fool you, because sis got the juice. Okay. She is all of the things. All right. And she is about to give it to us. Not only is she director at Agency Financial Systems Office under the chief financial officer at NASA, but she is also happy working mom and a Thrive coach. And she's about to break it all down to us because we got to know the blueprint so we can all be victorious working moms. Chi, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Victoria excited to be on the podcast. Finally. We couldn't be together in person, but it's amazing to be on your platform. I'm loving what you're doing, and I'm loving that I have the opportunity to share. Yes, you are definitely at NASA headquarters, right in the heart of the Southwest Washington. I've been in D.C. for a while. In D.C., although we grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, journey in D.C. began at the Howard University in Washington, Mecca. And looking back, I think I've taken that Mecca experience with me everywhere that I've gone. Strong heritage in making sure we bring ourselves and our value, our culture, along with education and intelligence to what we're doing. I think Howard gave me a great opportunity to hold confidence and articulation what I'm passionate about. I'm just great I'm able to have opportunity with your platform today. So being in DC gives me great access to a nexus of information and influence that I probably wouldn't be able to get at the time anywhere else recently, but definitely that's changed. But yeah, I've been a beneficiary of the modernization of financial systems. It's been at the heart of the federal government financial side for a long time. And I have been able to blend me being a hybrid, right? Nigerian girl raised in America. I've been able to continue that hybrid situation, if you will, being an accountant who is serving in an IT capacity. So everything that I have, every experience that I have has brought me now, not only being a director, but also being a Thrive coach. And I'd love to share with you a few tips and things that I've learned along the way that have helped me, especially at this point, not just survive when there's disruption, but also have the opportunity to thrive and both the most after recovery, both mentally.
Wow. Okay, this is a pen not paper alert. Pen not paper alert. Grab it. I will try to help y'all out in the show notes, but you about to get some gems and some jewels. I said this must be recorded today. Man, I mean just summarize just a tiny bit. So let me squeeze that thing before we move on. You said you're not just trying to survive disruption, but thrive. Okay. And a theme of being a hybrid, being Nigerian American, being accountant with information technology, and really thriving in the Mecca, Howard University. And put this in context for people who may not know, this is the same university that the current vice president of the whole United States, Kamala Harris, also graduated from. There's some heavy hitters, and as a fellow HBCU graduate, I know that there is something in that soil that breeds great things. And also talking about the modernization of financial management. And you're about to drop us some gems about the Thrive coaching, because when you describe this, and I'm in the healthcare sector, so this is fascinating to me and definitely out of my own discipline, but it would make me think there's a conflict there, because there would be pools in that hybrid. And how do you marry things? The need for innovation, but also the need for order, the need for creativity, but the need for consistency, and that being all in you. Like, how do you balance that? Because I would imagine there would be a tension in the industry. For example, I would liken it to, in healthcare, the electronic medical record. It was a disruptor for a lot of older physicians. Like, I can't type, I'm not used to a computer. That's not my thing. But then younger doctors had to learn to adapt to the technology and try to use it as a tool. We don't all love it, but it's here. So you just have to lean into it. Do you find that in your industry and that desire to modernize the financial management system, that there's a tension there from passing it from the old to the new guard, and how to not just survive it, but thrive in it?
Exactly. And you're going to see that a bit of everywhere we go. Unfortunately, sometimes disruption, huge calamity gives way to the birth of something new, right? So there needs to be a bit of resistance to change, a resistance in order for us to see the benefit in change. I'm not the medical person, but I know that it is our human nature to see change. We can't hypothetically, when you think about our executives and our leaders serve the country and moved into the civil service and after military service, and they've rose to the ranks of becoming executives. Although they have probably the best someone maybe in their early 60s, probably not the best person to lead technological change, talk about next gen and things in the future. However, they can use their experience, their exposure, their senior leadership to create an environment where innovation can happen, where the best minds can be open and honest about testing pushing forward. But sometimes it takes a calamity like the pandemic. Of course, everyone's dropped their landline and the conference call and pick up a virtual call. So there is a beauty in it, and I've seen that, like I said, being a hybrid, being a mix of many things. It's really to look at what the ultimate source is engagement with people. So as far as federal financial management, we do know that these systems have been old. They've been old since I've been in Washington. I don't know if anyone remembers the White case where we all thought that in 1999, Fox struck, midnight 1201, things were going to disappear or break down. And that has really been replaced. We've been patching it, keeping the can moving forward. And what I am describing is that we have awesome opportunities in the federal government where we can use technology, things, apps, digital transformation revenues that are available all around us. We can use to help us solve those problems that were so evident back when it was Y2K. So it's creating that environment with those who know how and those who are willing to push the envelope can be sponsored by those who are more, and then they have the environment where that type of innovation is welcome. I'm blessed that I could be at NASA, one of the federal government agencies that is at the forefront of innovation, human spaceflight, and all of its educational facilities that benefit from that ongoing vision here for over 60 years, going to years. I benefit from being able to take some of that innovation to my work. Also, I have to share that I am a mother. I'm a mother of a very active family. So I don't have the benefit of some of my colleagues being able to spend long hours at work. So efficiency has to be a part of not just financial management technology, but of everything that I do. So the main thing that I do want to share on how to thrive and not survive really is time management has to be at the top of it. And I've noticed that I'm better when I can at least create a list, jot things down. Journaling has helped me a lot. Being able to just have a time to myself outside of work, outside of being a mother, just jot a few things down. Early in the morning, I'm the person I like to take in the shower when I'm brushing my teeth, keeping a journal nearby, jotting things down. And we all know that our peaks of creativity vary throughout the day. But if you can just start with that, right? Time management, writing down your awesome ideas, peak time for you, and being able to go back, that's an early part of it. There's an opportunity later on to go back and take a look at it without value, without judgment. Just start jotting your ideas down. That's the same thing for the federal government. There are so many different ways to, what they say, eat the elephant, where you start chewing from. But being able to talk, share with those who have a collective mindset of modernizing some legacy, it starts just from that thought creation. Do you want me to take a pause because I just said a little bit?
Wow. I got my notes. It's really saying things that translate even in your profession. It really touched me about efficiency. What do you say? Necessity is the mother of invention. You like, I don't got time to play. She got 3 kids, so you got a whole household that you're running. So it's like you a CEO in your house and you got to go work on the CFO at work. It's no joke. And that was part of what motivated the show is we need to talk about the reality that we aren't solely focused on our domestic roles or our household. We have real responsibilities outside the home. And how do you not burn yourself up in trying to do both? Because either you're going to be mean to yourself or mean to everybody else. But efficiency, which I would imagine that requires clarity, boundaries. You got to know what you need to do and when you need to do it and protect your time. And that goes in with the time management. And the journaling, is I hear you saying avocation, like you need downtime to dream and to think. And then a lot of us, we have ideas, but then we judge it. And we've said no to ourselves. And that I know about Chi is that she's not a no person. So no, and she don't take no.
And again, this is a lifelong thing, like you said. In life in general, I generally don't accept the first no. Now, maybe then again, I'm not saying maybe say you like criminal in nature, but many times when you ask someone something, again, I'm daring, I'm a bit of a disruptor. I don't really like follow the other's path. So I'm an Aries, that's the first in the zodiac sign. I like to be off the beaten path. Just I don't know why. So I ask a lot of questions. I like to find things out for myself. And I noticed that when you ask people a question who are not off the beaten path, sometimes just out of sheer protection or not wanting to take that wild ride with me, sometimes the first answer is no. And a lot of times people don't really mean no. So if I push or I continue questioning and I see that the person is waiting and I make it a yes, or I get a firm no. But by the third time, either you're exhausted, you're tired, you're going to say yes to give up, or you really, that's something in general. And it has helped me. It's helped me at times where, like, even applying for this job the first time, the director position, I did not get it. Even the first time I applied for the director position, that was a huge no. And it was a no that triggered something that I've been benefiting from now. So I finally expected it. I've been at NASA almost a decade, serving immediately underneath the previous director. So I thought it was shoo-in. And when I did not get that position upon retirement, this is really where I started that Thrive mindset. And I really had to sit myself down and I had to make a determination. I had to sit with myself and determine, what did I really want? Do I want this job because this is progression up from being assistant accountant, the director of the store? Is there something I really wanted to do? And that's where that genesis of bringing everything that I am to the table happened. Being at headquarters in Washington, D.C., there's a professional way you want to be presented. I tried to separate work. I was traveling a lot from my home life, having someone dedicated in the home, childcare. And let me tell you, that no unlocked an important part of which said, you know what, I can be everything that I am. I can let my heritage be part of who I am, whether I style my hair, style my dressing. I can let being a mother be a part of my say, hey guys, I may have to leave a little bit early on Friday because my daughter has a dance recital. And I can be both the accountant and the IT person because it's two different terminology languages that are buried in one. And being able to sit in the middle and talk to both on the right and the left, it's a beauty, right? So again, not every no is a bad thing. And yes, I don't take every no, but being able to transform it into the opportunity to bring Chi completely to the table is worth.
That is awesome. I just, like I said, that drip, and it's like, what do I want? Asking those high quality questions, because a lot of times women in the professional world, we can feel victimized because the system's not set up for us. But what I hear you saying is, no, I'm going to make this work for me. And you started creating your ecosystem. And this is what I need in my environment, at home, at work, to thrive. And I think that's something, it sounds like with the Thrive coaching, that's what really helps. You got to tap into you, because it's the you that got you the job. It's the you that has the home life, and trying to be somebody else is going to make you feel like an imposter. Also, like the point you said earlier about peak of creativity. Sometimes when we set these to-do lists, we don't put it in context of what our day is. There might be low-level tasks that is easier for you to do at a certain time than high-quality tasks, or the tasks that really require your creative juices. And being that aware of yourself. Are you a morning person? Are you a night owl? Do you have downtime in the afternoon? That helps to be kinder and gentler and clearer about what you can and can't do. It really starts as an inside job because NASA, for example, a hospital's a hospital. They're going to do what they're going to do. But you're choosing to put your time and talent there. How do you make it work for you? And that's something sometimes we need help with that because it's not modeled to us. That's why mentorship, coaching, counseling, those things are really important when you're a woman in the professional world, because if you don't have any internal structure, you're just going to be pushed in by the internal ones. I just wanted to throw that out. But unlocking your potential, you took that thing and you went in versus out. What did you feel like you tapped into as far as identity? Did you feel like, I know I got this job and I'm just going to shape what director looked like for me? Did you have that consciously? When you turned in and you took that no and then up leveled?
It was a journey. It was a journey. Like I said, that first no was a wake up call. And to be honest, I don't think I was really happy. There were things I was doing, getting through the day, just getting by. Part. I was doing a lot of surviving, a lot of, I won't say people pleasing, but I think I was letting what I thought, my interpretation of what I thought I should do, and I was going through my day to day. That no rocked me in a way. I said, well, look, if I'm trying to do it the way society is telling me to do it, I got to know, well, then you know what? I'm going to shed some of these layers that are not really me, right? Some of the mask, if you will, some of these characters that I thought would be accepted, and I had to go inside of myself. And it took actually, be honest, some prayers, some fasting, a little bit more of self-care, taking time for myself, long walk, going through my emotions, letting myself cry when I need to cry, or just hang out with someone who made me laugh. So I spent a lot of me time, because healing or moving forward, thriving, you have to do it from a very healthy place. So definitely, if you have health issues, to your healthcare provider. I have, in the past 18 months, seen everyone. So first, I made sure I was whole. And then once I was whole, I was able to ask myself, what did you really want from this? What did you like? Did you want the title? Did you want the salary? What did you really want to do? And that's where I was able to look back at my journey, look back at that young girl that was in DC by herself at Howard University, family, but a whole new family and network of people who could feed into me and let me know that being an African American is a superpower and not necessarily a handicap. Then I started to find the people around me who were doing something similar, who were also directors, if not in finance and other places, chairman in HR. And I was able to model them and look after them and see how they were impacting their community. Then it was the coworkers. So again, the non-management level people and having that relationship with them, looking at what frustrated them, and all of that in alignment together helped me realize what I really wanted to do in this position. And it was both. I needed to be able to effectively manage up to executives and manage down or across the tiers of people underneath me, and us to all have efficient engagement. And so that's why for me, modernizing the federal government is one of the things that I'm banging this song on. Just like we found ways to get around what we couldn't accomplish physically during the pandemic, there is a prime opportunity, right, for executives to meet in mind with the next batch of future in tackling our problems if we can just find ways to engage. And so literally, when the position came out again, the person who had the job left after about 3 or 4 months, the position was back open. And with this renewed focus, I reapplied, got all the way to the end, and that fire was still in my belly. So at the interview, it was a panel interview. And I remember talking about how great my resume was. Of course, I've been at NASA for almost a decade. And they started going through the regular questions. And I remember after the second question, I stopped them. I said, hey, guys, all these questions you're asking me, systems development, life cycle, PCVE, planning, you guys, that's in my resume. Can I talk to you about what I want? And that just turned the tide for me. So again, I had the opportunity because I reflected internally. I even put it on my vision board. I saw the need for someone like me. When I went into that interview, I told them, I said, hey, as director, I want the opportunity to sit at the table of NASA agency working groups and fight for IT dollars for finance. I want to be able to voice the needs of the financial community to the agency at headquarters who may not have the interest in finance. The finance is a part of everything we do, right? From launching the James Webb Telescope to the Mars rover, to even just going out schools and giving pamphlets about STEM. It takes money. And I got the job. But more than just that, I was able to use the opportunity at NASA headquarters to share and collaborate outside of finance. So finance is my background, IT is my reach, but people is my ultimate goal. Impacting people, helping them see the value of what they're doing, and encouraging them to bring their authentic self into the office every day.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Victorious Working Mom podcast. If this podcast episode has blessed you, kept you company, please feel free to like, review, and follow, and share with a fellow working mom. You can connect on IG at Victorious Working Mom, on Facebook, Neka Ichoku, DOMPH, and our website, www.victoriousworkingmom.com. Feel free to join the Christian Professional Mom community, and let's continue to grow, glow, and go. Be blessed.